Thank you, Laurent. I think it's very difficult to ask transversal questions because you have so different topics and issues to deal with and business to sell, actually. But there's one question I think which could be interesting for the audience is to understand more clearly what are your client targets. For example, could we imagine that change of paradigm sells to Bivolino? Bivolino being the SME, you could say average size of SME in the fashion business.
Our business model is B2B. It means we provide solutions for brands, retailers, e-tailers, wholesalers. By the way, we work with order, also for them to allow them to go from this 2D moving image to a continuous 3D object. But yeah, we can provide solutions for business partners. The issue, which is a key issue, is that on top of that, we need to provide the production of content, because all of our solutions work with 3D CGI content. And as you mentioned, not many companies can produce garments, 3D simulation to a level that is compatible with communication with the end consumers. So basically, our business model, for example, at Change of Paradigm, is like the Nespresso business model. We have the application, which is the hardware, and we have the capsules. I don't know how you say that in English. Capsules, which is the 3D content. So all of our customers ask us to develop their application, but then they have to come back to us to provide the content as they launch new products and all of that. So yeah, we could work with Bevel. You know, in fact, we've been partners in some joint European project, MyShopNet from COSME. So we've worked together, and yeah, that's what.
Okay. Target-wise, Stefania, what kind of companies do you work with? The ones with very large networks of stores?
Yes, we try to find the ones who are really very big retailers, because we try, one of our benefits is the drive-to store, but it's just the first step, because in a way we have two things in this market. On the one hand, we have the consumer, who is, you know, the consuming pattern has changed, and there is a market, a parallel market out of the brand, and it is there because there are platforms, because there are Facebook groups, because technology has allowed the consumer to create this market. So consumers are waiting for a solution. And on the other hand, we have the planet, and we need, you know, fashion is the second, you know, everyone, the second biggest polluting industry. So we need to do something, and we have to stop pushing products like Lutz said before. So all brands will have to address this problem in a way or in another. It will be with place to swap. It will be, I think there is place for lots of different solutions, but there is a main big problem that will have to be addressed by everyone. Either pure players, retailers, big brands, small brands, we'll see. It's just the beginning.
Yes, I think we can be happy, all of us three, because like expert Lutz confirmed, don't push products, but go for services. You have a very nice service, a virtualization service, no stock, no prototypes, no waste. You are kind of second-hand recycling system. It's absolutely also a service. It's not a product, it's a service. We have a made-to-measure service. But with the challenges, I think, to talk with you and to make this integrated in the existing brands or retailers and marketplaces supply chains, that they take these technologies up and offer better and leaner supply chains for a better service to the consumer. And there is indeed a big challenge there, because the world is complex and is IT driven, and integration and APIs and different cloud platforms related services has to integrate the complete clothing manufacturing supply chain, inclusive CAD/CAM and the Lectra and the Gerber and the Assist 3D and 2D patterns and 2D and 3D system made to measure. These are complex topics, and these challenges we have to work together. Starts up. Already a few years existing startup and existing brands and retailers. Perhaps you agree? I don't know.
I agree.
And in terms of clients, do you have clients, I mean, what target is it, your clients? Big guys only?
Today's targets for 2019 is time to market. All of them are investing to make things shorter in terms of development, from the sketch to the approved sample. So, and one of the problems we have during the last 3 or 5 years is the quality of the artistic designers we have now, which are not designers anymore, but stylists. And the number of prototypes has been more than doubled during the last 2 or 3 years because of the influence of those stylists who are not designers anymore. When Asdin Alaya or Hubert de Givenchy were designing, they knew what they had in mind and they were producing it. Now the system works a very different way. You have real designers providing many samples, and you have the artistic director, which is like Anna Wintour in a way, saying yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. And the number of prototypes more than doubled during the last years. And if we keep on doing that way, it will be worse and worse in the future. So I'm sure if we look at the question of sustainability on prototyping, and if you work with companies like Coach, like Louis Vuitton or whatever, it's hundreds of thousands of samples that are produced every year. So it's a real business in itself, and it's sure that virtual reality will help reduce the number of prototypes and variations, and that's really important. And it will help reduce the TTM, the time to market. So you win on a double face.
I'm really astonished when I hear that. So we are working 10 years about virtualization, less prototyping, and now you are telling me from the inside that it's double. So if you combine this with my experience about this Alibaba China flyover stuff, with this double of prototyping, then indeed there is a lot of things going wrong, and far more than I thought already.
I just wanted to add on the sustainability point of view that we also believe that although we are not doing prototyping for design department, what we are doing is solution for brands to communicate to their end customers. But we do believe that 3D simulation can enhance a new business model, like pre-order business model or mass customization business model. And so we always have the preoccupation of sustainability in our head when we propose services to our customer.
Thank you very much. We'll take questions from the audience. I'm sure we do. You do. Oh, Paola? Polimi.
More of a reflection, but I was very interested in what Mr. Laurent was saying also in the previous speech. That reminds me the fact that, of course, many times it's much easier to start from scratch than to entirely revise what it's already existing. And one of the big issues that to me is even more clear now about transforming the established industry is that, first of all, they are not yet at the point that they do have integrated data and organized data within the business, which is the base to start up any type of strategy around artificial intelligence, for example, because it has been organized through very distinct silos throughout its evolution. And for example, the creative and product development department is quite close within its boundaries in a way that, for example, what you were saying about prototyping, you know that because you are at the overviewing of all the processes, but probably that type of information and even data are not known even to the ones that are producing so many polluting things. And there is probably, but I'm asking to you a level of also making data available and having data communicating to people in each different functions, which is a very basic function that could really enable the industry to change and to create the mindset change that is needed. So. I don't know if it's a question or a reflection, but at least working on visualizing data and making them more accessible to everyone is possibly the first step to start the paradigm change. What do you think?
Well, hard question. I would say there are two different aspects. First of all, there's one word that I like, which is called digital continuity, which is, we know that interfacing systems like PLM and ERPs looks really easy. It exists for more than 30 years. It's still really hard to do in the daily basis. There are here people trying to make that for the big companies with many product categories, many different habits, many different sourcing countries and whatever. Already those quite classical systems are really hard to plug. And if we don't have this digital continuity, it's an issue in itself. So the fact of having a continuous flow is really important because it brings efficiency. It prevents from having double, triple entries, whereas we try to make it faster and faster. If you have such a business, it doesn't run. And what is interesting for our, I can witness that because I see what was the reality of companies 30 years ago and today. What the startups brought that is a good thing, this idea of test and learn and proof of concept, the POCs. I guess POC is the right way to do that. And that's why I was mentioning the hard goods, like metallic pieces in the leather goods, for instance, sunglasses, eyewear, which now is completely 3D done, but it doesn't go up to the end. If we look at how it is, we could say, why don't we, on those easy products, go to the end of the story? It could prepare the future for more hard to modelize items like the garment, which is much more difficult to do. And I think what would be important in the companies is to help them to start those test and learn projects, those POCs, with more maybe usable, more actual, more easy to run technologies, so that they prepare themselves in their mindset, they prepare their own teams, their employees, because the barrier is not the consumer. I think the consumer goes faster than the companies in most cases. This is your employees who are the glass wall in a way, and it would help to say, oh God, look guys, it works. And it could work much more easily for some easy things to do. And the ready-to-wear industry might be the last to be integrated in that process. I apologize for saying that, but it's, if I take the position of the company, it would be more profitable in the short term to work on that rather than on soft goods. And that's the message I would like to push.
We are working with POCs because it's a very disruptive idea for a brand to say, from now on, I will let my consumers buy and sell second-hand goods. So we are starting with POCs, but big companies don't know how to do POCs. That's it. And they don't have the mindset to work with the startups and to be flexible, to make quick decisions, to take the to run the POC quickly, performant, and with the right KPIs to make the final decision. And today, we work only with big companies, and it's a nightmare. So this is the first thing that must be changed in order to progress. The mindset of the big companies. Otherwise, digital continuity is just an utopia.
Okay, so mindset. once again. Thank you very much. We don't have any other question? Okay, so we'll move to the next roundtable discussion. Thank you so much.